Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Gray, the High Tech Traveler, and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my new favorite devices. Now, I typically review smartphones, but the device I'm talking to you about today is technically a smartphone accessory, but it is a must-have for anyone who owns a vehicle. This is my review of Pioneer's new NEX system with wireless Android Auto. Back at CES 2018, Pioneer announced a handful of new head units. While the company isn't new to the Android Auto scene, the new devices they unveiled were among the first Android Auto units announced with wireless Android Auto compatibility, allowing you to connect to one of Google's Pixel smartphones or a compatible Android 9 device over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi without needing to plug it in over USB. Now, this might not sound like a big deal, but not having to pull out your smartphone from your bag or your pocket and plug it into the USB connection in order to connect it to Android Auto is actually a game changer. Now, this means you can simply get in the car and start driving without having to fiddle with any cables at all. It does take 15 to 20 seconds for Android Auto to actually pull up once it's connected wirelessly, but that's no different than if you actually had to connect the cable to the phone itself. And Pioneer's new head units also support CarPlay and the Wireless CarPlay feature as well, but unfortunately I don't have any iOS units on hand for this review. The Pioneer W8400NEX and the W4400NEX do look a lot alike, but they do have a $500 difference, with the 8400 selling for $1,200 and the 4400 selling for $700. The features which set these two apart and justify the huge difference in price are the touchscreen and also built-in GPS navigation. The more expensive 8400 NEX does have a capacitive touchscreen, while the less expensive 4400 has a resistive touchscreen. And the cheaper model does not have a built-in GPS navigation. So you will have to rely on your smartphone and have that connected all the time if you do want GPS navigation on the 4400. The unit Pioneer sent over for testing is the W8400 NEX, the $1,200 model. So that's what you're looking at here. Of course, the beauty of Android Auto is that you can do most of the things that you'd want to do on your smartphone directly on the car's in-dash navigational system without actually having to touch any buttons, since it uses Google Assistant. So you can just say, "Hey Google, show me nearby restaurants."
Showing results for show me nearby restaurants.
As you can see here, I also just got a message pop up right there, and I could read that message and then reply to the message as well. But here we can just scroll through and see the different restaurants and a little bit of the information that's available to them, and then all we have to do is hit navigate, or we can ask for a specific location. Navigate to the post office.
Okay, United States Postal Service. Here we go.
And once it pulls up the driving directions for that, we can then say, "Hey Google, play some driving music."
Okay, here's a Google Play music station called Country Hot List.
That's probably not the list that I would want, but you get the point. And then if we jump into the music options, it actually shows all of the compatible apps on your phone that will allow you to play music. So I have Stitcher for podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Pandora, and also Google Play Music. And they say YouTube Music is compatible as well. It doesn't show it as a separate app, but it'll play YouTube Music options that are available directly through Google Play Music if you ask for a specific song that's not available through Google Play Music. Then if we go down here, this is where we can get the option to make phone calls. We can look to see what our favorites are. Jump in over here. We have voicemail, dialer, contact, call history, missed calls. And then if you do want to, you can type in a specific number to make a phone call. And then you can also send messages, though it doesn't show you an option down here as far as messaging goes. Hey Google, send a message to Rachel Gray on Hangouts.
Chat with Rachel Gray, sure. What's the message?
Android Auto in the car is absolutely phenomenal.
Here's your Hangouts message to Rachel Gray. Android Auto in the car is absolutely phenomenal. Do you want to send it or change it?
Send it.
Sending message.
And it's just that simple. Now, in addition to Android Auto, the system also comes with CarPlay, which does a lot of the same things that Android Auto does. But everything that I've seen so far shows that Android Auto is a much better system than CarPlay. There's a lot more functionality built in. But if you don't want to use either of those, there's always the option to use the standard features that are built into the head unit itself. Of course, there is the FM radio that you can listen to the radio if you want. And then if we jump into here, this will show you all of the features that are built in. This here does have a backup camera support that I had installed. This is extremely helpful for me since we are towing our trailer all the time and we need to hitch up once or twice a week. So having the backup camera there allowing me to see as I'm hitching up to the trailer. Jumping back into the menu here. And some of the systems aren't turned on by default because they do require some additional connections, which I do not have. You would be able to use some of the car's features. It should show you the speedometer and also the tachometer for the vehicle if you have that connected right. But there are a lot of sources from media as well. You have SD cards. I will show you that right here. We'll open this up. The head unit pops down like that. You can do an SD card or also a CD or DVD, and then there is auxiliary in as well if you want to do that, and then also video in if you want to have an external video source plugged in. This does also do mirroring with your device. If you have a Miracast compatible device, when you're connected over USB-C, it will mirror the screen on the device as well. And of course, this being the most expensive unit on Pioneer's lineup, this also comes with built-in GPS and navigation for whenever you don't have a connection to use with Android Auto or CarPlay, whenever you're in an area that doesn't have cell reception. Now, the interface here doesn't look as good as what you get with Android Auto or with CarPlay if you're using Waze or Apple Maps or Google Maps, but it's still functional. If we pull this up here, we can get a detailed information for the places that are nearby, any saved locations that you might have, and then you would be able to navigate directly to there with a couple pushes of a button. Select destination here, and then we're set to go. The head unit also comes with a lot of different customization options. If we jump into here, you can see we can change the background images, the illumination, theme, clock, splash screen, and much more. We'll just give you a look at some of these here. We can change the colors here. And then illumination. This here controls the colors down here at the bottom. Since my accent colors for my lights in my Nissan Titan are orange, I am leaving it at orange so it matches pretty good. And then we can change the background image as well, depending on what you want. It would be nice if you'd be able to load up. Actually, you might be able to load up additional background images if you plug in a USB device with some images on it. I have not tried that yet, so don't quote me on that. But it could be an option. And then the clock style, if you want to change the style of the clock or turn it off altogether. Of course, the head unit with the right harness is also fully compatible with the buttons that control your media that are built into your steering wheel. You can turn the volume up and down and also change track. And then if your car is a little bit loud and the stereo can't hear your Google voice commands, you can always press the button to trigger it manually. Hey Google, navigate to Walmart.
Okay, Walmart Supercenter. Here we go.
And of course, this doesn't have the full Google Assistant actually baked in. One of my favorite features about Google Home is its ability to play games and things like that. This one will tell you a joke. Hey Google, tell me a joke.
How do robots eat guacamole? With computer chips.
They're not the best jokes, but one of my favorite things from Google Home is playing games, and this one won't do it, even though something like Mad Libs would be awesome for car trips or just being in the car on your own. Hey Google, let's play a game.
I don't have any games.
But the Google Assistant in your car does give you the ability to control the smart home devices that you have connected to the Google Assistant that are already installed in your house. You can tell it to turn on lights, change the temperature of your Nest thermostat, and things like that. So it does come in handy from time to time. Now, spending $1,200 on a replacement head unit for your vehicle may sound a little bit excessive, but I can't begin to tell you how much I love the W8400NEX. As I've mentioned before, we travel the country full time, so we spend a lot of hours in our truck. Having wireless Android Auto has truly changed the way that we listen to music and use navigation in the vehicle. Not having to fiddle with the cables every single time that we get in and out is absolutely priceless, and I highly recommend it for anyone who spends a lot of time in their car. If you have any questions about the W8400NEX, please leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.